If you're a music producer and like to watch a lot of short form content, you've probably seen a lot of these music and producer life hacks. But my friends, are these life hacks really that useful? My answer to that is not all of them, but some of them, yes. And in this video I'll go over a few of these life hacks that I actually personally used in my latest release. I want to give credits to the producer school because a lot of these hacks came from them. And now sit back, relax and enjoy. Since this is a stutter house song, the main theme of the drop are like the stuttery effect thingies. Just take a listen to it. And that's the first music hack I used for this song, and those are these stutter vocals. How did I make those? Well, I took the vocal sample, the main vocal sample of the song. It goes like this, and I just took a small part out of the sample that I liked. On itself, you don't even hear a lot. But if you take a small part like this, and also a different part over here, and different part over here, and you put them next to each other, then you have like a stutter sound. This, however, sounded not very nice. For all the first part sounded not very nice to me. So what I did, I pitched it down a little bit. On top of that, I put some effects on it, OTT, without OTT, with OTT. It brightens it up a little bit. I also boosted the high end a little bit. An auto pen, so it goes a little bit from the left to the right. I also added the chorus to make it a little bit wider. And I also used an EQ on it to get rid of some harsh frequencies. And that's the first music life hack I used. The next hack is about the bass. The main bass of this song goes a bit like this. There's a very important hack I used for this bass, and that's to make it groovy. What a lot of people will do when they make basses, or any sound actually, is keeping their automations on the grid. So if my bass was on the grid, it would be sounding like this. And even though it might sound a little bit nice, you can't really bounce to it because there's no groove to it. So what I did was, instead of having the bass exactly on the grid, was adjusting them a little bit out of the grid, so there was a groove, you know? See? It's already a little bit more groovy. Combine this with the sidechain, and you have like a grooving bass. And that's the second life hack. Ignore the grid, but go a little bit off grid to create a groove. Throughout the song, you'll hear some reverbs coming in and out. For example, just at the start. And I mean this. This is not the only reverb you will hear coming. You also have this one. And I also made one for the vocals. These reverbs are not samples you can get off Splice or something, because they are self-made. And there's a reason for that. I used elements of my own song to create these reverbs. And because I used the elements of the song, the reverbs fit the song more. If that makes sense, I can show you how I made it. If you want to introduce a new element of the song, like in this case the piano, what you can do to create a reverb is like cut out only the first part of the element you want to let kick in. Take a reverb, put it on, put it kinda wet, like 70%. Maybe increase the decay by a little bit, so it sounds like this. If you've done that, you right click the track and bounce the track in place, just like this. And once it's done, you have like this. You have the bounce and the bounce tail. This tail part is the reverb you want to use. So in this case, it sounds like this. Now you make it shorter, reverse it, and just like that you have a reverb that's coming in. Now, some might ask, why does this reverb sound different than this reverb? And that's because apparently I didn't use this sound to make the reverb, but I think I used this sound to make the reverb. Yeah, you hear this sound, right? It sounds a lot like this sound. And that's because I used that. Another music life hack I used is making my own drones. A drone is something that a lot of artists like Fred Again use to create an atmosphere. It's basically this sound over here. It's very soft, but it's very important for the mix because it just creates an atmosphere in the build-up. If I play the build-up right now, you'll hear it a little bit in the background, right? But if I remove it, it's so blank if it's not there. So it's actually carrying a lot, even though you don't hear it a lot. Let me do a side-by-side comparison with and without drone. You hear it, right? Even though the sound is very low, if it's not there, you really miss it. And it's actually very easy to make. Just like the reverb, you take a sample, a small part of a sample, like this piano again. Now, instead of putting a normal reverb on it, you want a very big reverb on it. So what I used was Supermassive. This is basically reverb on steroids. It's like very big reverb. What I did was just take a preset, reverb, large, massive. Take one of these presets, maybe dark matter. Sounds dark, right? When we play it now already, you'll hear a very long tail. So we can bounce this track in place again. And just like that, we have the tail. And the insane part about this reverb, it already has so much movement. It's actually insane. So we cut off a part that we like, mainly a 4-bar loop, maybe even a shorter bar loop, but 4 bars is often enough. And like repeat this. Now there's one problem when you do this. There's a little cut every time over here, right? And maybe if you find it annoying, just make it so the cut isn't there. You can also put a reverb on the reverb. And now it's very drony. And voila, you have a self-made drone for your song. Next up, Granular Earcandy. Granular, I never can pronounce that word, man, but here's what I mean. Listen to this. These sounds I put like in the background as ear candy, and they are actually pretty easy to make. What I did to make this sound was take the main vocal. So when you have the main vocal, I put a plugin on it. It's called Portal, and what Portal is doing is it's a granular effect. It's very hard to explain. It's I think the best way to explain it is that it will take the sample and cut like small parts of the sample out the sample and place that back, a bit like this. Then you can choose over here how much of the effect you want. Something like this. Then again we bounce it out as a track. And now already we have like the vocal, only then a little bit trippy. What I think I did was pitch it up by 12 semitones. So it sounds a bit like a chipmunk, but it's on purpose. Put some reverb on it, put some auto pan on it, so it changes a little bit from the left to the right, you know. You can even put some sidechain on it with the kick, so it's a little bit bouncy, you know. And voila, you have some ear candy you can use in the background that you made yourself. Next life hack is a gate to make a sound fuller. What do I mean? I had the vocal chops, right? And I like the vocal chops, but the problem I had with the vocal chops is that they don't sound full. So what did I do to make the sound fuller? I took another sound over here that sounds like this. This sound I layered with the vocal chops. But at this moment, if you just layer it like this, it's just a small ambient sound behind the vocal chops. They don't interact with each other, right? But the thing you can do is put a gate on the ambient sound, direct the gate to the vocal chop, and then the ambient sound will follow the chops through the sound. So you can hear the rhythm now, right? This ambient sound now has the same rhythm as the vocal chop. So if we play them together, you get a little fuller sound, and that's why I used this music hack. And there you have it. Some of the music hacks I used for my latest release. If you got all the way to this point, I would really appreciate it if you check out this song on Spotify, SoundCloud, or whatever platform you're using. Link in the description. Thank you for watching, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.